All right. Oh, now see, I'm off center. I mess things up constantly. That's like what I do. So I'm just sitting here like messing around with everything. And how's it going, everybody?
How's it going? Sandy was barking a bunch at Nellie.
At the old bean. The old
Yeah,
bean
old
was
Nellie.
just
Now she seems
fighting,
upset
like
that
trying to
she's gone.
break that little that bunny that's as big as her's neck. She's like, let me know how the old audio sounds, everybody. Just just want to make sure everything sounds okay, and maybe
Yeah.
like if audio levels are where they should be, or if
I,
they're
I think
not.
I think my audio had been quiet in recent weeks. And I think I don't know Windows. Windows likes to change audio settings for no good reason on its own.
Yes.
And I think my input settings were low. So
Yeah. So I mean, everything should be good. How's this sound?
I could not hear that very clearly.
Okay. Well, you know what? You probably. Oh,
I thought you had individual control for like.
I do. I had it turned off. Here you go.
Yeah, I feel it. I not only hear it, I feel it now.
All
You know
right.
what I was doing just before. This is like a really weird thing to just be like, I bought this thing like 2 months ago, and I'm finally going to do this with like 30 minutes to spare before the stream. Uh, I I tried the degaussing coil that Steve recommended
Mm-hmm.
for getting rid of some discoloration and a CRT.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and it was the reason it was something that seems silly to do 30 minutes before streams because I wanted to move the CRT to a place farther from my other CRTs before I did this because I didn't want to risk messing something up with the others. So I kind of moved it a bit, and it's actually the biggest CRT that I have. So it was not moving it was not a wonderful process. Um,
It was
but
not a
unfortunately,
wonderful process.
no. But unfortunately, it didn't. It did not yield the desired result, and I think the problem might be. Um, I think it might be the speakers and the TV itself have just somehow
This.
become unshielded.
Uh-oh.
Uh, and I wonder if the solution might be like if I could open it up, like if it would be safe and easy to just get to wherever the speakers are and disconnect them somehow. I might need to ask Steve how he would what he would recommend doing because the discoloration is right in the lower right and left corners where the speakers are.
Oh, okay.
So
I mean,
uh,
you're going to see him in a little while, right?
I'm actually going next Saturday.
Okay, then why don't you just bring it? Or is that just like a pain in the butt to?
Well, I don't. I mean, I'm bringing two back. It would be pretty tight. So,
I see.
I wasn't in. I mean, I've got two other screens that I want to use the degaussing coil on as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I maybe I'll try out another one, or I mean, I see no. I mean, I watched one of the videos where he does it and he explains how the motions to make, which lines up with the instructions that came with the degaussing coil.
Right.
It seems relatively easy to use, but I think the problem may be that the speakers on this CRT are emitting a field that obviously at one point they wouldn't have or shouldn't have, and it seems weird to think that over time they become unshielded. I don't know how or why that would be, but considering the location of the marks are on the lower right and left, like that seems like that could be the problem.
So I was just like, he didn't do anything. I was doing it. Now everything should be sound. It should be back now.
I thought everything was already okay.
It was. I noticed that like the filter that I had in my audio mixer in OBS was turned off, and then now it should be good.
Should be good. Is it good? Is it good?
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna go on Saturday to Steve's. I'm planning to go up and back in the same day.
Well, how long of a drive is that for you?
It 4 to 4.5.
Ooh.
But
yeah, I mean, that's a full day though.
It is. I mean, that's like visiting Dave, you know?
Yeah, but
like
yeah, I mean, you never go
that's
days
like
for a
that's
day.
like how long. I mean, 8-9 hours. I mean, it's like you visiting me. It's
right. Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, it'll be a journey. But that's what I'm intending to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll have my Toshiba back and my 20L5. And the reason I wanted to
Toshiba,
Your
C- Toshiba.
My C- Toshiba. Yes. Well, and so the one I was working on, it was something that I actually got from Jonathan Henson, and it's really nice. I mean, it's a Sony Trinitron. It's a flat screen, but it does have component, and it looks really nice aside from the discoloration around the speakers. So, we're going to soon have an opportunity to do. I don't know how much has been publicly said on about this mod, but I mean, I'm going to be vague, but I mean, we are going to be looking at a pretty darned exciting Super Nintendo mod in the coming weeks. Expect a real traditional old school RGB mod video from MLiG in the relatively near future. And I wanted to, I was thinking like, oh, well, this would be a great a consumer grade CRT to look at and see, like, is there a difference visible
right.
on a consumer grade CRT?
Mm-hmm.
But if I can't quickly get that one looking good, I'll use the Toshiba I'm getting back from Steve. It's just that, as he pointed out in his video, to prevent the warbling issues, it seems that you kind of got to have the brightness turned up a lot, so it might be a little washed out. But it'll probably still be pretty good for that. So yeah, it's exciting. We're going to be that's kind of going to be a back to the bread and butter kind of video.
Yeah, sounds good. I got, the thing I've been talking about, like that stupid glasses video. I hate the video, but it will be out tomorrow. It's like done.
You're sending a real good
effects.
Screenshot. I hope that's in the video.
It's a post credit screenshot, but it's there's some other things in the video. A couple of other, just really one other funny face.
I mean, I assure you, the whole video is worth it for that face alone. So
even though it's
everyone watch to the post credits. It's no matter what you think of the device, no matter what you think of the video, that face is worth it.
So
it is a meme worthy face.
I can always share it in the Discord real quick if anybody wanted to see it. But I don't really care for the video. It's just it's taken way too long. But I really don't want it to be the main video on the channel for too long. So
we'll be moving along on this Super Nintendo video as soon as I've got my Super Famicom back in my hands.
Right. I mean, I'm gonna try to do something else in the meantime as well. just to see if I can not have that be the main video.
Oh, man, we got Mr. Do watching over his shoulder now. He's like, wait, is there some serial killer out there that doesn't watch post credits?
I mean,
it might be more common than you think.
Very rarely post credits. I mean, the oh no, it is not the Austin Powers transition gag. Although, I mean, I got to do that at some point.
Wait, what?
Or like I thought it'd be really funny if we started putting like Austin Powers style.
Oh yeah, like the.
Yeah, and just like the boom, 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 and it's like, you know, camera zooming in and out. That would be real funny.
And like that. That's we just do that regardless of the context of the video. Like, no matter like how dry and straightforward the video is.
Yeah, like I mean that's how it changes. Like if we were both in the video, like that's how it would change. Into like, you know, the next speaker.
You know, we should have like more. I mean, not more. We should have like at all. Like we should make the little. Like we should make that like a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean I agree. You know, I read something about how there's like a big like discussion going on about like a transition in Doctor Strange, the second Doctor Strange movie, where it does
Multiverse
that
Madness?
and it like opens up on another face.
Wait, say again.
In the second Doctor Strange movie, there's like a transition that it circles in on his face and then like opens up a circle from like Scarlet Witch's face.
Yeah.
And like there's like been some discussion online about it. And it's like it's a very Sam Raimi thing, right?
Yeah.
And I think it'd be real funny. I was like, man, I can't look at that now and not hear that sound effect. I feel like I want that sound effect to be like in the movie.
Well, you can do your own custom edit of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
The only thing that I add is that sound effect.
Except that.
Yeah. But so this video will be out tomorrow. I mean, I'm not like thrilled at all that it took like so long, and it is like it's branded as a mini, like it has the mini intro on it because like I feel like there's not a whole lot in it. What I would like to do
we always overthink that though.
Well, but the thing is, like, what I really want is just like an intro that is super quick, that doesn't have to be the full intro for just like quick videos. And it doesn't have a name on it. It just like has the logo and that's it. And I think that I did something like that a long time ago. But like,
something I've been thinking about is like, once Analog Frontiers Part 4 comes out, which, you know, I'll be resuming full on work on that pretty soon.
mm-hmm.
Once that's out, like and like especially coming on like the 10th anniversary of the channel, like I almost feel like it would be fun to do some sort of like almost like 2.0 refresh. Like obviously we don't change the logo, we don't change the intro music because everyone loves the intro music, but like we you know, we've been sitting on our intros for a long time. You know, we just need to have a couple of refreshed intros with different systems and different things shown. We should you know, maybe refresh our Patreon a little bit. We should you know, maybe make a suite of video transitions a bit, you know?
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know, like just maybe freshen up a few things to celebrate the conclusion of Analog Frontiers and the 10th anniversary of the channel. You know?
I think that sounds like a good idea. So really quick, I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna start the game here. You know, and this was directly inspired by Classic Gaming Quarterly's video, his weekend rental episode where he played the first game. And you know, like I think I played a little bit of this one after I finished the first one years ago. or a year ago, I guess, a year and a half ago. And
Right, you played some Robert Mondieu.
but I played a little bit of this too. But there's no save on there, so
Right. So I guess I was confused because I remembered that you had played Robert Mondieu, which is the third game. And I guess I forgot that you had not played the first two Jumping Flash games yet. Now, how do you own this one? Is this?
I have the Japanese version. I'm playing the US version on the X Station, but I have the Japanese version. I got it for 105 yen when we were there. I got the second one, but it also included the first one, like in the same case.
Okay.
Which is a heck of a deal, if you ask me. 105 yen for both games.
Heck yeah. 105 yen?
Yeah.
That's insane. That was like 95 cents at the time we were there.
Yeah.
That'd be more like 70 cents now, I think.
Now I got to make sure that it is 105, but I'm pretty sure that it is.
Oh, you have the receipt in there?
No, it has. I saw the
the sticker on it.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's 108 yen.
Oh, got
Big
some
difference,
stars
but I
of
mean,
destiny in your.
Can't really see it. But yeah, so this version includes like both games, and it also has like a sticker, and like it has like all the paper materials basically.
I wonder if that sticker would even stick to anything at this point.
I don't know, but yeah, it's got both of them in there. 108 yen. I mean, that is a deal.
What did you get? Was it book off?
Yes.
It feels like a book. It feels like a book off deal.
Yeah. I mean,
Did I tell you that I went to a book off in L.A. with Gabe Swar?
Yeah. Did you get anything? They have. I mean, I'm sure it's not like as good.
No, it was pretty bad. Like literal, like it was just bins and bins and bins and bins of like the yellowest, dirtiest Super Famicom games you ever saw. The prices were not particularly amazing, and then like anything of note was in glass cases above the bins, and it was stuff like $30 for like Super Mario Brothers Famicom, like it was. And like Final Fantasy, like really really common games, and they were all like at least $30. It was fun to go in a book off, but
there's one in New York that I went to, and it was pretty cool. Power Orbs.
Yeah, I mean it was fun to go in, but it was not. It was not a place that I felt like I should purchase anything. So do you have 2 jumps or 3 jumps?
3. And if you recall, when I played the first one, I thought I only had 2 jumps.
Yeah.
Until I beat the game, and then
then replayed it, and it was like so easy.
Yeah.
So you should mark it mastered on your backlog. Whoa! Look at this rainbow. This looks awesome. Are you invincible?
I think so, yeah.
Like this looks like the CRT looked when I was using the degaussing coil. Except it didn't permanently fix it because I think the speakers are causing an issue. But anyway. Oh, K-League Gamer is saying there's no game audio.
There's I see. Now you should have it. Sorry about that. Let me know if it's too loud now. It very well could be. But it might just be perfect.
So are there any major gameplay changes between this and the second, or is it kind of just bigger, better, more expansive?
Yeah, I feel like it's just bigger and better. Because the first one was such an early game.
Polished or anything? I really need to get these games. I don't have any of them. I'd probably want to get the Japanese versions though, just because.
Yeah, it's a little expensive, I guess.
and they're long box games, right? Which
I mean, there's a non-long box version of the first one, and
but
the
probably
second one is not long box.
Okay, well,
There it
but
is.
I know people love their long boxes, but I do not want to create inconsistencies on my PS1 shelf. Sorry. So the only inconsistency I want is, the Japanese cases are a little different. Actually, the Japanese cases sometimes have varying heights. Like it's a small difference. Like some are like normal jewel cases, and some are like a little taller. Like I think it's like the double disc cases. They're different than our double disc cases. You know what blew my mind? I learned this from Good Vibe Collecting. From our Discord. He did a video some months back that was just a simple video. He's got some nice little helpful videos on his channel.
Yeah.
Just like identifying like certain things that you might not think about. And he did a little one on, just how to open like a PS1 case, like for doing a case swap or something, like if you bought a sports game that was in good condition, to use that case for a game that has a cracked case or something, right?
Right.
And so I was actually planning to do a disc swap for one. I made a mistake and got a cracked copy of one. The game itself the game, and the art was in great condition, but there was a big crack on the spot. So I got like a copy of Madden, whatever, that was in good shape.
But does it have that NFL sticker on it? Usually has like sports games have like
there
that.
was a sticker that I had to take off.
Yeah.
Or it might have been basketball. I forget, but there was some kind of sticker that I did need to take off. So anyway, I watched this video, just to show, how to carefully open up one of those, because I'd never done it before. I just carefully open up one of the cases without cracking it. And so then I was talking to him on Discord.
You've never swapped a case, just like a jewel case before?
I had never swapped a jewel case before. Never done it.
Wow.
I mean, I'm normally...
That is actually kind of unbelievable to me. Like that... I mean, I feel like I've swapped so many cases, just like in general.
I try to buy good copies of stuff, But then, if you recall, I had bought a Dreamcast version of Alone in the Dark.
Mm-hmm.
When I was up at your place a few months ago. I bought it at Arcade Legacy at the new location.
Right.
And
this
it
was
the
new Nightmare, right?
Yes. And the discs were in astoundingly good shape. Everything was in good shape. It was a good price, but the case did have a big crack in it. And this I don't know, this might be common knowledge, but I had no clue. And again, I learned this from Good Vibe Collecting. Like the front and back of double wide jewel cases for PS1 and Dreamcast are just the backs of regular, like, single wide jewel cases. Like, it's just the back. The front and the back are regular backs. And I was like, oh wow, like I can actually, like, I've got I had some others that I could just like swap that. So it is it is mildly inauthentic if you look closely though, because it did come from a PS1 game. I don't remember what I took it from. It was from a PS1 game, which, has very small engraved the compact disc logo. which Dreamcast games don't have.
Well,
or at
yeah,
least
because they
they
got
usually don't have because they are not compact discs.
right.
But that's the only difference. You know, from the outside, you would never know. But if you looked on the inside, you would notice that it does have that compact disc. I had no clue. I mean, it's just got that little divider that kind of holds them together. But I had no clue that it was that the front and back were just standard single cases.
I guess, like considering that, like, I guess it makes sense that you wouldn't know because, I mean, you probably never bought music CDs. Except for, like...
Well, I mean, I import music CDs.
Right. But I'm just saying, like... As a, like, you probably... When did you start getting, like, game soundtracks? Like, as a teenager, or...
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. I mean... like the first CD I ever had was like the Return of the Jedi soundtrack, and then shortly thereafter I got the Super Mario 64 soundtrack. In '96 was when I got my first CD player and started getting CDs, and that's when I started importing game soundtracks and stuff. But I wasn't. I wasn't like bringing them. I mean, I didn't have a CD player in the car. Like, I wasn't like bringing them in the car and getting the cases wrecked and stuff, right?
And also, you weren't going to like Salvation Army and getting used CDs.
Right. So, and at the time I was buying, mostly new PS1 games, or when I was buying used ones, I bought them in good shape. Now, I do have some cracked cases, like my Suikoden, pretty much, I don't even know how, but like it pretty much just like developed a crack, like
a map or anything like that.
Big crack on it.
Huh? I'm just wondering if there's like a map. It's like help me figure out where I need to go. I just feel like I'm missing it, or I just gotta explore until I find it.
But anyway, yeah. I mean, I generally buy, I buy games in good condition, but I'll make exceptions as long as the disc is in good shape and the price is right. And it hadn't really come up for me where I really needed to do a case replacement. Like, I could have replaced my Suikoden a long time ago, but otherwise I didn't really have any bad condition cases until that copy of 1, and it really needed a replacement because you could see the crack on the spine, and it kind of made the spine a little uneven. So that was my impetus for finally bothering to do that. Anyway, there was a $4.99 super chat from Perkin.
From Perkin,
not Perkins, but just Perkin. Man, I can't.
Not the restaurant or the old.
I couldn't tell you anything about Perkins. Like, I know I've eaten there at some point in my life, but like I don't remember what it's like at all.
I mean, it was like in my hometown, it was replaced by Denny's eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I assume it's basically the same thing. Which I actually kind of like Denny's.
Oh, Denny's is great.
I used to think I didn't like Denny's, but I kind of came around. I mean, but there's not. I don't really have an opportunity to eat it very often, so I don't. I would probably get sick of it if I did, but it's
okay. So I see there's like
actually a lot better than I thought.
Okay, so
anyway, Perkins says, think you guys might check out that Baroque English patch on Saturn. I played a bit yesterday. I forget what game Baroque is. I know that name.
I think it's kind of like a roguelike. So I downloaded it. It's on my desktop right now.
Okay.
So I've not played it yet. I intend to check it out. I've heard that it's very, very good.
Is it done by?
I think it's a
same
roguelike.
People as Bulk Slash.
I don't think so. I don't know who did this one. There we go.
But in general, it sounds like Saturn fan patches are hot.
Yeah, well, there's also a PS1 version of this. And I think that translation's been out for a little bit.
Man, I really like the cloud layer below you. Like it's really well done. It gives a pretty convincing sense of depth and and height and space.
But yeah, it's pretty cool to see a lot of these Saturn games getting translations here. I think we might have played the Saturn version when John was here, when we were channel surfing the Mega Drive and Saturn.
Oh yeah,
that was a lot of fun. You know, I thought about doing a channel surfing stream tonight. I was considering it.
I see we got old Tony Baloney in the chat.
Totes Balones.
Hey, it's Tony Baloney. I can't do the voice. I can't do it.
I know Tony Baloney, and this guy ain't no Tony Baloney. I've seen Tony Baloney. Don't look like this guy. Who does this guy think he is? The real Tony Baloney would stomp his face in. There we go.
Zodiac says, would love to see a Suikoden English patch for Saturn. I always forget, like, if the Saturn version is considered good for Suikoden 1? I always forget. Or if it had some issues.
I don't know. I love this. Look at this thing. It looks like it's straight out of Katamari. It looks like.
Oh yeah, like it's like it's definitely got like strong like Katamari precursor vibes.
Yeah,
for sure. I was thinking earlier today that I might maybe I'll stream Katamari Forever soon.
Yeah, I finally got around to getting the We Love Katamari reroll, Reverie or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, I don't have that yet.
There was a comment on a couple of streams ago saying that it's getting kind of hard to find. Apparently.
Oh no.
But I didn't. It might just be the Switch version that's hard to find, but the Switch version is 720p 30, and I ended up getting the PS5 version, which is 4K 60.
Well then I'm gonna look that.
I got mine from Best Buy.
Is there a 60 FPS version of Katamari 1 reroll? I don't.
There's a PS4 version and a Xbox.
Is it 4K or 60 FPS?
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, Amazon's got. I mean, that's a PlayStation series, you know. Oh, the version on Amazon though right now it's like I don't even know. It's not a Peggy rating. I don't even know what rating is on the picture here.
Are you looking at the PS5 version?
On Amazon, yeah.
I got it from Best Buy. You should check your Best Buy.
Yeah, I'll look at Best Buy. You know what I got recently and did some file transferring was I broke down and got the 2 terabyte Xbox memory card.
Oh really?
Yeah, because I mean, for a while, I mean, I'm not buying like a lot of games for Xbox right now.
Do you use an external hard drive with it, or also?
I do have an external. I have an external 2 or 4 terabyte SATA SSD. You know, it's the exact same one I use on PS5. It's the exact one that Richard recommended in his, you know, right when PS5 launched, like the Sabrent cable, and the Samsung SSD. It's the exact one he tested. I just bought the exact same thing, and I bought it for PS5 and bought one for Xbox. And but like that, my 1 terabyte memory card, which I got for a really good deal, and then the internal like had been like they like all three had been 96% for like a long time. And that really bothered me.
Wow.
And I could just get like a bigger, or I guess I could get a second SATA SSD, but I wanted to ensure that like everything that needed to run off of either internal or the memory card like could be installed. But the next step would definitely be just get because I think there's enough USBs. You know, you and I think both had the same delusion for a long time that there were 2 memory card slots.
Yeah, I'm surprised that there isn't.
There should be. I mean, it would. I guess it would. It would probably add a lot of cost to the motherboard.
Yes.
To have enough bandwidth to support
Isn't
that.
Western Digital like going to start making those?
Some competing ones.
Yeah, which I mean, hopefully will bring down the price a bit.
Yeah. I thought Seagate and Western Digital like merged like decades ago, but maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know. Go to exit.
But yeah, I got sick of seeing all of those like really full.
Mm-hmm.
It'd been a problem for
I think
a
I got a
while.
5 terabyte mechanical hard drive and the 1 terabyte, like the SSD.
SSD expansion.
Yeah. You know what though?
Yeah.
I like. I maybe I just don't think about it that much because I like never play my Xbox. I almost never play it. Like I turned it on because I got split second like on the 360 recently, which is backwards compatible, and I almost streamed that tonight too.
Yeah, I mean, I'll admit, like I use the Xbox for backwards compatibility more than anything.
Yeah. Where am I going here?
You know, I mostly buy for the PS5 just because of, there's PS5 code on the disc. So, yeah, for physical media collectors, PS5 makes the most sense, I think. So yeah, but I don't not enjoy the Xbox. I use it some, but I mean, sure, I play the PS5 and the Switch more than the Xbox, but I do enjoy having the Xbox all the same.
Cool decision.
It does look like I could get Katamari PS5 on Best Buy.
Yeah. There was
I was gonna say there was a couple of super chats. Were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I was just gonna I saw the Jonathan Henson one.
Yeah, there was a $5 super chat from Jonathan Henson. Thank you. I was talking about your some of your CRTs earlier in the stream. If LRG let you choose one game from the 8/16/32-bit era to release on a modern console via the Carbon engine, what would it be?
Cool decision.
That has not gotten a re-release.
I mean, it would definitely be, it would definitely need to be something that either has not been translated or is really expensive or both. I would say would be, the ideal pick.
Right.
You know what's something that I mean, this isn't like really expensive, but just something I would really like to see translated officially would be Treasure of the Rudras for Super Famicom.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That would be a really, really big one.
I guess that's what it really comes down to. Or just like if you want to do like if they're gonna translate them as well.
Something like expensive I would like to see would be something like,
yeah,
there's a lot of PS1 games like Kuldelka
Yeah, you know, like
I'd
that's the
love to see
thing.
that.
I thought when they were doing when they're doing a lot of the Konami stuff, I thought that they were just like building towards doing Snatcher. And I cannot believe that it hasn't happened, but you know, it might be. Like maybe, you know, like maybe they're getting more brave about releasing, you know, Kojima's stuff without him being involved, for better or worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would love to see that, obviously,
Working
re-released.
designs, that'd be those. Any of those would be good.
Yeah, like anything working designs, I'd be all about it if that was an option.
But you've already got those though, so you're.
I know, but like that's the thing. It's
you
like
would like it for other people.
yeah,
I would like it for me.
I mean, I would love all that stuff for other people. Like I'm not worried about me, like in terms of that stuff. I would love to have, you know, like anything working designs. Like especially like Lunar and stuff, I would love for that stuff to get re-released in some way, so that
Absolutely.
you know, more people could play these games that I love.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it'd be really cool to see if they could work out a way to use that translation of police knots and do like, you know, like I wonder if they could ever do that. Like if Junker HQ would like let them like license their translation. How am I supposed to get over here? Am I just supposed to just like go for it? I'm gonna go for it, I guess. Huh?
There was also a notification
Crap.
that
Oh, this will work though.
James Boone has been a member for 23 months in a row, almost two whole years. Saying finally bought a snacks for my mister.
Ooh.
Great playing Ridge Racer and R4 with the how do you say
Negicon?
Negicon?
Negicon
Again. But I discovered that one of my Negicons is faulty. Oh, that's a
Uh-oh.
bummer. But still, at least you got one that works, it sounds like.
You know,
So the snacks, am I right in thinking that is controller plus memory card support for the PS1?
right. I regret, like, I almost bought a Nijikana a couple weeks ago, and I had it in my cart, and it was like a decent price on it, and I am annoyed I didn't buy it, because then once I realized like I missed it, I saw the seller, and the seller was undamned. You know, like who we, you know, borrowed his Waka, which is like he's selling on his.
Oh, he's selling the Waka?
Yeah.
From that one episode. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Was that not the first MLiG Mini?
That was, yeah.
But like Chris is always talking to because I listened to a couple of episodes of the Here's My Question for You podcast, and Chris is like always raving about the Negicon.
Yeah, I mean, you should watch the
work
video he
with
did about
any game, or does it have to have specific support?
It has to have specific support, but a lot of games actually support it.
Come on.
Uh-oh, I only got a minute. Where am I going here?
I could definitely see myself liking something like that more than like a steering wheel. Like I've never had an experience with a steering wheel. And granted, I haven't had like a recent experience. This is all based on like a long time ago. But I've never felt like, even in like arcade games, I've never felt like I've used a steering
Got
wheel
30 seconds left.
that really felt like actual driving.
That was close. Almost didn't make it there.
Like I don't know. Like, have you ever felt that way about like arcade racing machines? Like, have you ever felt like it really felt like real driving?
No, I never really thought about it in that way, I guess.
I think John said that he got a steering wheel that he can use with modern systems, or at least the PS5, and doing like the Gran Turismo 7 VR mode.
Right.
Like he said, like at times, like it would almost, he could almost fool himself into thinking he was like really there, really driving with his hands on the wheel and everything, right?
Interesting.
Like it almost, you know, it almost tricked his brain into like, you know, after he was in it for a while, like almost felt real. Which I mean sounds really cool. But like in general, like even stuff like Gran Turismo, which I'm like really bad at, like sim racers, but I feel like I've never had a driving experience in a game that really felt like plausible driving. Would it just be impossible to build like an open world city type game where like you were like driving at like a realistic speed and, you know, driving in a realistic law-abiding way, and it not be boring? Like, is that just inherently boring? Like, I just can't think of any experience. I mean, I don't play a whole lot of driving games, but I just can't think of any experience I've ever had where, like, if I remember right, doesn't LA Noire, like, if you don't move the stick and just hold the gas, doesn't it kind of like auto drive?
It might. I don't remember.
It's been a long time. There was a $10 super chat from Joshua Helmke. Thank you.
Thank you.
Saying, speaking of fan translations, let's get some of the 16-bit era Sega RPGs. Things like Surging Aura, Illusion City, Record of the Lodos War, Shadowrun CD, the list goes on. I am unfamiliar with Surging Aura and Illusion City. Are you familiar? I do not know those. I need to play Ragnasenti sometime. I got the Japanese version of that because that's one of the rare cases where the Japanese version is like way cheaper than the American version.
Right.
I don't know if it's still cheap, but like when I got it, it was like I got for like $20 on eBay. Complete.
I need to go with the other one. Yeah, I got that one when we were in Japan.
Oh yeah. You got a bunch of Mega Drive stuff, didn't you?
Yeah.
I don't know if, I don't think I directly bought any Mega Drive stuff, but or maybe I bought Wonder Boy 5 Monster World 3 or I feel like it was weird though, like something like, did you buy it and then you found a better copy and I took the other copy or something like that?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't remember.
Feels like a lifetime ago.
There was a $5 super chat from Aaron Welsh. Thank you.
Thank you.
So it sounds like Try wants to play Desert Bus for that realistic driving experience. I've never played Desert Bus. What is Desert Bus? Is that CDI or 3DO?
It's on the Sega CD. It's on the Penn and Teller game.
Wait, was that Sega CD? Huh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, it was an unreleased game, I think, right?
Maybe.
Is that same group still doing the Desert Bus?
Oh, I don't know. I bet they are.
Because man, that was so long. Like that started so long ago.
Yeah,
like so long.
That's
ago.
good.
They were like this, like sort of like comedy video troupe, and I remember watching some of their videos, and I like have no clue if they're still at it or what. I think they were from like British Columbia or something, if I remember correctly. But man, that was like so long ago. Like,
yeah,
like,
I'm pretty sure
I never hear anyone talk about it anymore. So if it's still around, like I wonder like how they like top it each year.
I mean, I have no idea.
Yeah, maybe Desert Bus is really realistic. I've never played it. I should.
It's just like driving.
Give it a go
Across the desert. You know, I think I mentioned that we were thinking about going to Yellowstone
Oh,
next year for like on our family vacation. I mean, I mentioned that.
I don't remember, but if you go, I mean, if you go out west, like, I mean, let me see how far away Arches. It like, I cannot recommend Arches enough. Like, it's like it. Not enough people have heard of it. Arches National Park is where most of the opening scene, or at least the opening scene up until the train chase in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Yeah.
That's where that was shot.
Right.
And the first time I went there, I've been with my parents there like I think at least 2, maybe 3 times.
Is that good to go like 3 times?
Oh yeah. Like it's the only park we've like gone back to that many times.
Huh.
Like it's unbelievable. Just the geographic
inside
formation.
at the end of the map, it gets like 60 FPS in here.
I mean, Mr. Do, you're out west, so Arches is probably better known out there. But like when I tell people about like Arches, like just it is not as well, nowhere near. Like a lot of people say they've never heard. And obviously they would be familiar with the opening of Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade, but they wouldn't know about it. But let's see. Wait, were you saying Yellowstone, right?
Yes.
Yellowstone to Moab. Arches is in Moab. Let's see how far.
But we're like discussing different routes to take, and we're kind of discussing maybe like just flying to Denver and driving from there. I was like, if we're gonna go to Denver, I'll steal Joe's Musha, or I'll have to let him know.
When I was actually like, when we were on one of our out west trips, I was like actually like very near Joe's at a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Just like passing through on the way to somewhere else,
And you stole his
like
Musha?
I almost reached out and to see like, hey, like,
And stop by and steal his Musha.
yeah, stop by and steal his Musha. Like I almost thought I'd reach out and see if like just could hang out for a little bit, but like I had like the worst case of something stuck in my eye that like I've ever had in my life. Like it like lasted hours, and like I just like could not, no matter how much I used eye drops or tried to rinse something out, like it took hours for it to go away. Like it just something was stuck in my eye and I couldn't get rid of it, and so like I didn't feel in any condition for an impromptu social outing.
I see.
But anyway, it looks like they're not close. Yellowstone and Moab, where Arches is about 8 hours apart. But, it's just incredible. Like if you've ever seen a Utah license plate, there's like this arch. It's called Delicate Arch, and it's this like standalone arch formation. It's a moderately strenuous walk to get to it. But that's on the Utah license plate, if you've ever seen one of those. But yeah, it's this place where there are just a crap ton of natural arch formations, and it's just like it's like the most visually pleasing landscape I've ever seen in my life. It's incredible.
I feel like there's like the levels are way bigger in this, and it's much harder to figure out where I'm going. Ooh, perfect. I love it when it's good. I'm almost dead. It's gonna give me. I've got no time left either. It's like a bad combination. A bad combo right here.
Yeah, the first time I got back from Arches, I actually didn't know that. Like I had a feeling like that the opening of Indiana
Tonight was
Jones and
gonna
the
be a
Last
good
Crusade
night.
was shot somewhere out that way, and I hadn't seen it in a while. And so but then when I got back, I did a little research, and it was shot in Arches, where we just got back from. And I looked at the photos that I had taken in Arches, and went through the movie shot by shot, and I had coincidentally like taken a photo of every shot up to the point where he goes into the cave, which the cave is a set. It doesn't exist.
Yeah. I have not.
But
I haven't watched that in a really long time.
um
Can I leave if I have not found everything?
but yeah.
Yeah, no, I guess not. Oh, I bet it's down here, though. I'm gonna run out of time. But I bet it's down here. No, it's not. Where is this
But yeah,
last
I mean,
one?
if you go out west and you do anything in addition to Yellowstone, I mean, I would personally, as a fan of deserts, I know some people maybe don't like deserts, but as a fan of deserts, I actually recommend Arches over Yellowstone. But if you do something in addition to
Oh, I
Yellowstone,
bet I missed that one. I'm right.
while you're out west, like Arches would far and away be my recommendation.
All right, well, that's good to know. Not looking forward to like doing that drive, but if we were to fly out to Denver instead, I feel like it'd be a lot more palatable for me. I gotta say.
Oh yeah, Mr. Dew, Joshua Tree is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever been there?
No,
But you're familiar.
I'm familiar with the U2 album,
Oh,
which I believe is named after the Joshua Tree.
yeah. Well, the Joshua Tree National Park is also very impressive. I wasn't impressed at first because we approached, I forget which direction we approached from, but like the night we got to the area, we had a little time to look at like sort of the outskirts of one end of Joshua Tree. It wasn't that impressive, but then once we went into the park, it instantly like went up to being a favorite. It was really awesome.
Oh, we got Big G in the chat.
Big G.
Yeah. Suffer like Big G did. I feel like the levels are a lot bigger in this one. But maybe not. Maybe it's taking a little while to get my bearings.
Well, I mean, it kind of looks like this is going for like a ninja house, like traps vibe or something.
Yeah.
So it's like probably meant to be. It's probably meant to be.
Yeah.
Amazed.
The thing is, it wasn't.
You're meant
that
to be
bad this time.
confused.
I must have just missed one way back at the beginning. Is all.
Do you have to get four of those aliens in every level?
Yeah.
Is that the
Of
goal?
the Moo-Moos.
Moo.
Yeah.
It was Big Trouble in Little Moo.
Yes.
Is that the subtitle?
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Now we got another boss. Another boss.
I don't remember you fighting the first boss.
I'm on World 2. Is that a password down there? Or I wonder what that is down at the bottom there.
Oh, that kind of does look like a password.
What is it?
Does the game not have memory card saves?
It does have memory card saves.
Well, you said that you had played it and didn't have a memory card save, so that makes me
Well, I
wonder.
didn't have a save on here, yeah.
Well, maybe it has a password option since this was still relatively early PS1, right?
Yeah,
So-
I mean, this is like,
I think a lot
not
of-
long box era.
Yeah. I think a lot of, but I think a lot of games, some earlier games, I think, were cognizant of the fact that not everyone might have a memory card. Actually, like I really like the effects of this enemy's attacks, like especially like the swirly red fire. It actually looks pretty good.
I'm gonna use up all my weapons. Whew. There we go. I did it.
Good job. There's this Grandia sound clip that we've got on the back. I forget who says it, but there's a Grandia sound clip that we've got on the backloggery stream alerts that just goes, "Good job, you did good."
So I finally started Final Fantasy 16
Oh yeah.
last
How long?
on Monday, I think. I'm like maybe 5 hours in.
Okay.
I just got my first ability change. Like
Okay, so you've got wind now.
yes.
Which is a pretty significant gameplay addition.
Yeah.
Because now you can you don't have to wait so long for cooldowns now because you've got
Right.
a whole other set that you can seamlessly switch to.
It's just really interesting to see like its different influences, I guess, since the last one. I mean, the music feels like a lot, like feels influenced by Nier quite a bit.
What
I
feels
feel like
influenced by Nier?
what the music.
Well, maybe. I mean, you haven't heard a lot of Final Fantasy 14 music, and it's got a different vibe even from Final Fantasy 14. But I mean, it's the same composer, Masayoshi Soken.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, it's good. I really like the
recognize
kind of dark rendition of the Crystal theme.
Oh yeah,
It's
like
dark.
that plays on the PS5 dashboard. Do you
What?
hear that since you've got your dashboard music turned off?
Yeah, I don't have the.
Yeah, but it does play it on the dashboard.
Oh,
Um,
that's cool.
But
I didn't know it did that.
yeah,
That played
it does
different.
sound really cool.
I just heard it in the. I don't like dashboard music. I don't like music playing when I don't want there to be music playing.
I mean, it's not. I mean, we've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
It's very. I find it soothing.
But just like it feels very Game of Thrones inspired.
Well, right. Like I heard that like that was like actually like required homework. Like
Oh,
for
really?
development staff. Like they said like okay, you need to go like here's the Blu-ray set.
Oh, I didn't
You
even
go
know
watch-
that. Like, I mean, I had no idea that was going to be the case, and then.
I mean, I've not seen it, but for the
Right. Well,
record,
but I mean,
know nothing
it's
about
just like like I've been like laughing about it all week. It's like at the very beginning when like there's like some meeting going on.
it. Oh yeah.
There's like a meeting going on, and the guy who like is like the can become Titan.
Yeah.
Go like
Hugo.
leaves, and then Benedicta like follows in the hallway and goes, "You cock." It's like the first thing that she says to him, and I was dying because it's like, it's just like it really just like sounded stupid. I'm like, come on. I've been like laughing about it all week though, and just like I've been just like saying it out loud to like my cat and my dog.
Well, Sadie thought it was fun.
Yeah, I thought it was so funny because it just just like felt like real stupid when I heard it. I'm like, oh, like
How do you-
I
how do you
guess
like-
they're like
How do you like Sid?
I like him a lot. He seems
Like,
pretty cool. Like it's the game feels like the way that like so I've died like one time and it just like refills all your potions and high potions.
The death penalty is shockingly negligible.
Well, I mean, like it seems weird to me because you know, like I thought that Final Fantasy VII Remake was like fairly challenging in parts.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and it feels like a lot of these things with you know, like our Souls inspired difficulty wise, you know.
Right.
And I'm kind of surprised that it is.
It's a very easy game.
Yeah. I mean, not that I don't mind, but I mean, that's like on the action focus. Mode,
right.
You know, and I'm like, well, is it even easier, like on story focus? I assume.
Like there's John said that there's like a Final Fantasy. It's called Final Fantasy mode, I think he said.
Oh.
Like that's, you know, the hard mode when you beat the game.
Yeah, because
I kind of wish there was a harder difficulty from the outset because it is easy, but I still find the combat to be very enjoyable because, like, you know, when I'm in boss battles and you know I'm trying to not die, it's satisfying when you get through it without dying, right? So, but yes, there's no real pressure to succeed other than just what you impose on yourself.
Yeah,
like, I really want to get through
like,
this
and that's fine because I'm okay with that because you know it feels like the like at least the boss battles are definitely like split up by like set piece, like cinematic hits or cinematic dodge or cinematic clashes.
Which are like so generous that there's like I can't imagine failing one of those, like with the time they give you to do those. But I mean, I really like the combat. Like, I think it feels great to play. The one thing though, did you change the control scheme out of curiosity?
I did not. I don't have much of a problem. I wish that I could put dodge on the shoulder, like on the triggers. Like that's the only thing I wish I could really change.
Well, the one thing I wished I could change was like I like the default control scheme, except I wanted, I just wanted dodge on circle, and at launch the only option that put dodge on circle put your attacks on the shoulder buttons, which I didn't want. Like I don't know what it is. Like in Souls games.
Yeah.
Attacks on the shoulder buttons feel totally natural, but like other games that are trying to copy Souls and put attacks on like melee attacks on shoulder buttons, I don't like it. Like I like it in Souls, and I don't really like it in anything else for some reason. I can't quite explain it. But I like everything about the default control scheme, except I just wish dodge was on circle and the you know, ability that is on circle was on R1 instead, because something about R1 dodging took a lot of getting used to. It didn't feel natural at first, and then you know, like weeks later, they added a control. They had I think 3 more control schemes.
Yeah,
and it was option D was exactly what I wanted, but since I played you know so much of the game. With the default scheme with dodge on R1, like there was no going back. I wasn't even going to try, but
that's good.
But yeah, so I stuck with it. But you know, I did get used to dodge on R1. That's fine, and I do like the combat. I mean, you know, sure, it's you know, would I have preferred something with a little more like tactical options like you've got in Final Fantasy VII Remake? Absolutely, but it is very fun for what it is. I wish you could have started with the higher difficulty mode, but you know, I think the game is quite good. I enjoy it. There was a 499 from Dingus Glurt.
Thank you.
saying this is helping me get through a hard time in my life with many life changes. Thank you guys. Well, I'm
Is everything
both
all right?
sorry to hear that, and glad to hear that that we are helping in some small way.
Well, hopefully you're doing all right. I mean, if
hopefully nothing is.
I mean, if there's anything that we
too
can do to
awful,
help, please, by all means,
let
do
us
not
know.
hesitate to ask. Change is hard.
Yeah.
Change is hard.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, I struggle with it a lot, for sure. But if there's anything that, if you need to talk about or anything, please do not hesitate to ask.
Someone is commenting that that part of the icon battle theme sounds identical to one song from Ys 8. Is that something you've noticed?
I think the game feels like it plays like an Ys game.
Really? I mean,
yeah, I kind of do.
It's a lot. I mean, you're. I mean, I've not played 8 or 9 yet, but I mean, you know, I think Clive is a lot heavier feeling.
Well, yes, but I feel like the action focus feels like an Ys game. Like I don't feel like, you know, especially with like the platinum style like dodge, and I mean, like I'll tell you one thing, like I can't get the parry stuff to like that always happens by accident.
Oh, 100%. Like I mean, I think that's more like if you're feeling confident in your skills, which I am not.
Yeah.
Like I've never been good at like timing based counters. I mean, every once in a while there's a game where like it just clicks with me, but generally speaking, timing based counters are not my thing. And it's pretty cool when it happens, but it's always by accident. Like my natural inclination in most games is to favor dodging over parry.
Yeah. And you know the way it slows down like that, like Ys 8 and 9 do that. And obviously, I mean that's like that's a platinum influence. But yeah. I mean, I like it a lot right now. I'm glad that it seemed to like resolve like the initial mystery like fairly quickly.
Yes, because I thought that was like very obvious.
Yes, I mean,
like,
I called
that
it.
Was
like,
that was actually like from the very first trailer of the game that like they released like kind of in the lead up to the PS5 launch. Like I think they released the first trailer like summer 2020 or something like that. Like the conclusion to that initial plot twist. That was what I assumed was understood from the very first trailer. So yeah, I mean, I was talking to John about that too, and he was like, yes, I'm glad that was resolved quickly because it was very obvious.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't. The only thing that I saw that I remembered from like any of the trailers I ever saw was just like was Joshua with blood on his face.
Yes.
That is like literally the only thing that I remembered from the game, or like from any trailer. Because I didn't watch
a few things,
anything.
but I had not watched recent trailers.
Mm-hmm.
So I did not want. I wanted to go in knowing as little as possible, and I mostly succeeded. But yeah, I mean, most of that stuff from that initial trailer, was in the final game, but looking a lot better than it did at that time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a decent looking game. I mean, it's pretty brown.
Yeah, it looks really nice, but like I feel like its use of color isn't as striking as say Final Fantasy 13.
Right.
or Final Fantasy 14 for that matter. It does have it has a less striking sort of lighting, and I think it's an intentional artistic choice, but it definitely does not have the color palette of 13 or 14.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. I wouldn't say that it bothers me, at least at this point.
No,
But I mean,
they're definitely going for a different look. But yeah, it's it looks good, but its use of color is definitely intentionally muted.
yeah.
But I'm it tracks it has an estimate of your progress on the PlayStation dashboard if you've noticed.
Yeah.
And it like moves pretty quickly early on.
Yeah, I mean, I think mine said like 20%.
Yeah.
But I wonder how accurate that is.
I kind of doubt it's that accurate. Right now mine says 86.
Mm-hmm.
And I could believe that I'm getting relatively close-ish, but there's still like some things that need to obviously happen or be resolved still. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely expecting like a strong conclusion because they said that
There's no like DLC
there's
plan
no-
or anything.
there's no DLC plans. Like they were really intent on telling a story that felt satisfyingly complete.
Right.
From the get-go, which is good.
Yeah. But I mean, let's see how it goes. I have no idea like when I can finish it. I was like on such a good roll like early in the year, just like cranking through games.
I see. There's someone in the chat. I will assume, since we're talking about 50 hertz and 60 hertz,
Oh, geez.
comes from Germany. I'm going to assume this name is Damit, which is not which does not mean what how you would think it would be, how it looks in English. That was always that word always got big laughs in German class in high school. Damit, but that's actually probably not what. That's probably not. They probably actually mean it like it's spelled in the chat. But anyway, they're asking, "Hi guys, a side new LGC1 owner here, very much in the honeymoon phase. Can I ask what BFI black frame insertion setting you'd recommend for 50 hertz / 60 hertz content? Having a strangely hard time getting my head around it. I mean, I've never used 50 hertz. You're in New Zealand. Okay. Well, I was I was trying to dance around the username. But yes, I've not tried 50 hertz content on it. I assume that's a thing you can do with a US model, but I don't actually know much about using 50 hertz on modern US screens. But here's the thing with black frame insertion. Your console output and the game's frame rate need to match. And so basically, in other words, if you're playing a 60 frames per second game, you need to have your system set for 60 hertz output. So if you're playing an Xbox Series X, for example, you don't want to set your system to 120 hertz unless you're playing a 120 FPS game. And luckily, the C1 lets you the C1 lets you do black frame insertion at 120 hertz. The newer models C2 and C3 don't. I actually confirmed with John recently that has indeed remained the same on the C2 because he actually just bought a C2 for a computer monitor. And people might be interested to know, John said that the aspect ratio lag on the C2, based on his findings at least, seems to be fixed.
Huh.
But the lack of 120 hertz black frame insertion has not been fixed. And I guess it might seem reasonable to assume that there's some sort of technical issue related to the hardware of the new panels that is preventing that. But at any rate, so you want to be playing a 60 FPS game with your system set to 60 hertz. And you want to turn on high black frame insertion. I did a bunch of testing and could not find any useful application to the low or medium settings. I could not find any useful application to it. It always seemed to result in some kind of double image effect. Now, if you're playing a 30 FPS game, that's also going to result in a double image effect. So on the PS5, 120 hertz only activates if the game supports it. So, you don't necessarily have to consider it. You don't have to micromanage your hertz setting on the system as much with PS5. But like I said, with Xbox, if you're playing a 60 FPS game, but you have your system set to 120 hertz, you will also get that double image effect when using black frame insertion. So, again, only turn on 120 hertz on your Xbox.
Cool
if
decision.
you're playing 120 FPS game, and then use black frame insertion. But otherwise, yes, only use it with 60 FPS games. Don't use it with 40 FPS games or 30 FPS games.
That's good.
Pretty much, it's only useful for 60 FPS or games that games that generally hit their target most of the time. 60 FPS and 120 FPS with it matching. 50 hertz stuff, though, I can't really offer any insight, although my assumption would be that it should perform the same way as 60, but I don't know if that's I don't know if it would apply that way. So that's pretty much it. I use it with modern games depending on the context. But I most commonly use it with retro games or modern retro games, especially side-scrolling games. I feel it makes a good impact in that. And you cannot use it when VRR is enabled. So turn off VRR if you're planning to use black frame insertion. And of course, it's safe to turn VRR off if you are playing a game with a consistent frame rate. So that's pretty much the size of it, if any of that made sense.
that was from Damn It.
Yes.
Damn it. Damn it. I thought it was might be a Blink 182 reference, but I saw I saw that Linda said Try would rather die than to curse on stream. Because and but I think when we're not on stream, probably around his house, in private, whenever Sandy walks into the room, he goes, "You cock!"
Definitely not. But otherwise, who could say? It is a mystery. No one truly knows but Sandy, I suppose. There was a notification that Scott Snyder has been a member for 35 months in a row.
Dang.
Thank you.
Say never closer to that 36 number.
Yep. Saying, evening, gents. What do you use to dust or clean your old screens?
Old screens?
I think he's talking about OLED screens.
I use sandpaper on my.
Oh yeah. That's usually ideal. I'm worried about messing up my C1. Also, have you checked out the game Full Quiet? I've not heard of Full Quiet. Have you heard of Full Quiet?
That's the one. Is that the one where you play as Quiet from Metal Gear Solid? That's where you really like learn to regret your what is it? Your thoughts and assumptions or whatever you said. You will learn to.
Sounds like a rather low key and muted experience to me. But you know, my approach with cleaning my OLEDs tends to be don't get them dirty in the first place.
Yeah, I mean that's been generally has been mine, is like, you know, like cleaning them is like don't.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, like if I notice like a fingerprint or something like that, I'll just use my shirt. I mean,
who knows if that's good advice?
You know what? Like, it's probably not going to do anything to it.
I mean, I'm always like very careful, like to touch it by the side.
You put on you put on your white gloves, and you're like.
I mean, I always touch it by because it's got, you know, it's on a swivel mount, so. Yeah. You know, I turn it to the side when I have like guests and for movies and stuff. So, you know, I do touch it, but I always like touch it at the side where it's like not going to get marks on. Like, you know, honestly, I feel like, you know, sitting back at it, like I can't see anything that gets on the screen. Like, so my C7, you know, I got sandy like 5 or 6 months after I got my C7 back in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it was mounted a bit lower. And, you know, I've shown the videos before where she still does. She still likes to bark at the TV. But now it's the C1 is much higher than where the OLED was. And she's also not, when she's barking at the TV, she's not as prone to like putting her paws up, like to be up at it. But like she used to like bark point blank at the C7. And I would notice if I got right up to the screen when it was off and the screen was black, like I would notice like little dried bits of doggy spittle on it.
What if that's what gave it the streaking?
No way. First of all, because that would have to like start from the top, right? And it was only like really down low.
The spill got inside of it.
But anyway, like the fact of the matter was, though, I literally couldn't see it, like from the couch with the TV on. Like I couldn't see it. So I was like, I'm just not going to touch it, right? Like, yeah. I'm just not going to mess it up. And I really didn't. Like, I never really... Like, I didn't really want to dust it or stir anything up on it because then I thought that would make it noticeable, right? I never really did until I moved it because I bought like a universal mount, like just like a stand mount, like not like a wall mount, but just like a stand for it. So now the C7 is in the dining room, so I can watch YouTube videos while I eat. You know, when I moved it in there, I did like I wiped it down with a soft cloth with just water on it, just slightly damp, because like I think water is, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this, but I think just like a damp cloth is kind of the recommended way, because you don't want to use anything with like alcohol or anything like that on a screen, you know, including like a CRT, because, you know, it could like erode away some coating that could be on it. But yeah, I think just water is kind of just very damp, just slightly damp cloth. And that is what I did. I cleaned the C7 with that when I moved it. Because it was kind of like, well, I don't care a whole ton about it at this point, but it's not like I actually had any reason to believe that would damage it, and it didn't. So I've been enjoying watching YouTube on the C7 in the dining room ever since I got the C1. But yeah, and then I've never really cleaned the C1. I try to not get it dirty. I find that I don't know. I just feel like dust doesn't accumulate on the front of it like it does, like a CRT. Like a CRT, I'll just clean that with just a dry Swiffer, right?
Yeah.
But CRTs do get dusty. But
All right.
I don't know. I just feel like the OLED, especially because my OLED does on the mount, it does tilt very slightly down. I have it mounted basically eye level. Like I'm a strong believer in like mounting your TV to like, roughly where the center of the screen is the center of your eye line, right? Because you don't want to be looking up or down. So it's very close to that. Maybe just a hair above, and it leans towards me, just the smallest amount.
Towards. Ooh,
So it never, it just doesn't really get dusty. It doesn't get, and it's up high enough that it doesn't get sandy spittle on it. And so I try to not look close enough at it to even have the knowledge that it could be dirty.
Yeah.
But like I said, when I saw the sandy spittle on the C7, like I couldn't even see it when I was using it. So I just didn't worry about it.
Yeah. So I mean, that's really the best suggestion is like, just don't sit close enough to it so that you know that it's dirty. Because if you don't sit close to it, then it'll always be clean. Right? I mean, it's true.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Unless it turns out that Sheltie spit is exactly what causes streaking.
Yes. At that point, then we probably have other problems, things to worry about. Because what else is it messing up?
Anyway, Joshua Helmicke has come back once again. $5 super chat. Thank you. Saying, I just discovered that 8:7 ratios are made for 256 grid Master System games. 256 grid Sega Genesis side scrollers benefit from it as well. So the whole thing with 8:7 is 8:7 is how to explain this.
Great.
8:7 is the aspect ratio of 256 by 224 with square pixels. And obviously, I don't believe in square pixels for Super Nintendo games. So it is more or less a useless descriptor. I'd have to go back and check my notes. I believe I made some notes in a document somewhere about this, but I think there might also be a coincidence that lines up with.
Oh, come on! What did I get hit by?
With like the stretch level of certain games, but still, at the end of the day, it's regardless of what the horizontal resolution is, regardless of what the square pixel resolution is, 4:3 is the dimensions of a CRT, and in my opinion, the pixels should be stretched to those dimensions that would be on a CRT with interpolation.
And there you go. I have no idea what killed me.
I see.
One credit clear, looking grim. I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know how many levels there are in this game.
I see Lynn and Madashihi are talking about knitting, which reminds me. I can't remember if I mentioned this, but my mom has recently gotten into crocheting like creatures.
Ooh.
Like I mean she's like pretty fast at like just like it's been her main hobby for a while now. Is just like crocheting, just like making all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
She can like just like crank out a bunch of things on a day. But she got really into like making like little things like squids and owls and cats. And she asked me if there was like any like video game characters. Like she was like, "What about like a mushroom from Mario or like a Goomba?"
Mm-hmm.
And I gave her a few suggestions, and I suggested slime from Dragon Quest. And she made like 4 slimes, and they're pretty good. And she was sending me pictures just before the stream. She finished making a Moogle.
Oh, that's cool. I was laughing in Final Fantasy when someone said something, and they're like a Moogle's fought.
Oh yeah. So it was like something like a sword like that won't even stay a Moogle's fought. Something like that. A Moogle's fought. Have you seen the Moogle yet?
Just like flying around like in a cutscene when I got to like the hideaway or whatever.
So, like if you look closely at the Moogle, like there's like if you look at the pom-pom, it's very subtle, but there's this like subsurface scattering going on in the pom-pom, and there's like
what is subsurface scattering?
Subsurface scattering is like when you can kind of see like the translucency of skin through like a light source. So like
it's important that like I get it, but I don't know this stuff. And I think that you can't just like say it without being like, I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah.
I remember it being like
I'm
really
not Alex
like,
Battaglia, I'm sorry.
But like I remember it being talked about like before it was even a thing in video games, because I remember it being a big deal that like in like Star Wars. What was Yoda first CG in episode 2 or 3? I forget.
He was CG in episode 2, and then they went back and made him CG in 1, I think, like after the fact.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, anyway, like I remember, like back when the prequels were coming out, like there was this big deal of like, oh, there's subsurface scattering on Yoda's ears. Like I remember that being a big deal. So like I knew what subsurface. I just threw the word around because I've known about it for long since before it was anything that could even be done in video. But yeah, it's basically light interacting with skin in a realistic way. Okay. Because like it's like, you know, the slight bit of translucency of skin, you know, and the way that light diffuses through it. So anyway, if you look at the Moogle's pom-pom, you can like the way the light goes through it, there's like you can very faintly see this like veiny mesh in the pom-pom, and it's a little bit gross.
Yeah, that does sound gross.
It's like the kind of thing that really might ruin Moogles for me. But it kind of makes it look like a more plausibly real creature. For the most part, though, it looks almost exactly like Final Fantasy 14 Moogles.
Did I ever tell you that when I went to Comic-Con, it was like before we started the channel. We went to. My daughter was like less than a year old. She was like a little baby, and we went to the New York Comic Con, and my wife like had this like white like onesie for her. They had a hood on it, and I was like, "Oh, you should make it a Moogle," and she totally did.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's like actually real cute.
that's cool.
You couldn't see the veiny flesh through her pom pom though.
For the best.
Veiny flesh. I mean, that sounds disgusting.
That's disgusting.
There was no comment, but a $5 super chat from Mega X6. Thank you as always. So, how many worlds into this are you?
I think I'm on 4.
You know how
I don't know
many
how
there
many
are?
there are total. You want to look it up for me?
I can after Kaylee Gamer wants me to try on one. Ah! Bumping Bowser's airship here. I mean, I've worn this on stream before. The Mario hat. I've done this. Before.
Have you worn it on this stream?
Oh, probably. Sandy is
She doesn't like it.
is staring at me like, what is that? What is that on my head? You want to see? What is it? What is it? Hmm? What could that be? What-
Sandy's thinking, you cook. I know it's like unbecoming of like the family friendliness of this stream, but I've been like laughing about it way too much, and I can't
I mean, I
help
didn't
it because it's too hilarious.
I didn't even particularly think anything.
Oh, I mean immediately I was like, oh, it's like that is what made me think, oh, this is like inspired by Game of Thrones.
Is that a common phrase in Game of Thrones?
Not really. It just sounds like something that would have been said on that.
Yummy.
But it's funny that like that's what they're choosing to do. I mean, I was not expecting it.
I mean, I have not seen Game of Thrones, but like I suspect Final Fantasy 16 still has a lot more like lighthearted moments than Game of Thrones would. But
Yeah, probably.
yeah, wearing it on a Halloween stream sounds familiar. I don't know why I would have worn it on a Halloween stream. Is that the Club Nintendo hat with the tag that says this hat is not meant to be worn? Let's find out. It is a Club Nintendo hat.
Does it say that if it says this hat
I mean,
is not meant to be worn,
it's got
that's
Nintendo
hilarious.
of America's address on it.
What?
It's got Nintendo of America's address on it.
This hat is not meant to be worn.
It says
Wear the hat. Don't wear the hat. It's a hat. Don't wear it.
It says shell.
Give him the stick. Don't give him the
Polyester
stick.
100%. Filling, polyester 100%. Lining, cotton 20%, polyester 80%. Do not place in washing machine. Do not bleach. Do not iron.
Do not
Do not
submerge.
dry clean. It does not say do not wear.
One of my favorite things I used to always laugh about is how in manuals for like game cartridges where it says do not bend or crush.
Do not clean with alcohol or other such solvents.
Ooh, they got the big spider here.
It does not say to not wear. I mean, I don't know. There could have been a tag, like a tag that you snip off, that said that, or maybe it said that on the web listing. It more or less fits on my head though, and I've got a pretty big head.
Ooh.
I mean, but it's true. I mean, I would say it's like plush material and plush filling. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's like intended more to be a plushie than a wearable accessory.
Ooh. Can anybody tell me how many levels are in this?
Oh yeah, I was going.
I mean, I'm just wondering if maybe someone in the chat would know. Like,
I don't know if we have any Jumping Flash 2 aficionados in the house. I mean, you beat the first game pretty handily in one stream. I think.
I mean, even with a double jump.
Mudashi says, I have not put much more than 5-7 hours in FS16, but the Game of Thrones language seems forced. I mean, aside from the, stouter, stronger language and curse word usage, I mean, the writing is relatively similar to Final Fantasy 14. Final Fantasy 14
Thanks, Dan.
is way more lighthearted and silly, and Final Fantasy 14 has a more fun tone for sure, but like it's still kind of got some of the flowery and antiquated sounding language. One thing that surprised me, like, have you gotten like a quest objective yet that says like you were told you need to meet Sid in his solar?
Probably.
Like, I'd never
like
heard the word solar used for like a room until Final Fantasy 14. And like the solar is like, one of the main places that you go in Final Fantasy 14 to like, have a meeting with your with the story NPCs and determine your next course of action. And so that seems to be a favorite word of Koji Fox, who's like the localization lead on both 14 and 16, and I think kind of all around lore master of those games.
It does make me wonder, though. I think I was talking to somebody about this. Like, is there anybody that is like still really likes Final Fantasy? Is there like literally anybody that would be upset if they went back to doing turn-based? Like, I don't think that anybody would even like. Everybody would basically be happy at this point if they did that.
It is a really strange thing to me. I mean, that they seem so convinced that they can't do turn-based anymore. Like,
but I
Final
mean,
Fantasy
they think that they can't, but they could.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's strange to me that they think that. They seem so afraid. I don't remember who it was, but I saw a comment from someone saying, when I talked to, I think it was maybe Katase, saying like, when I talked to Katase several back whenever, and he said, do you think anyone actually wants turn-based anymore? And I said, oh yeah, of course. And explained. He said he looked at me like he just definitely did not believe me. Like, I don't know why they seem to think that just would not be a success. I mean, turn-based combat, I mean, a big part of the reason I think RPGs have the popularity they do is because of the accessibility of turn-based combat, right? A lot of people don't particularly enjoy playing action games. Therefore, they really like turn-based combat. And I feel like you have a much broader audience with that, but they seem to think it won't sell.
But you know, like I've heard like this hasn't sold like nearly as well as they were hoping, and it's like, who are they trying to please at this point? They should be trying to please like their longtime fans, right?
I don't think anyone would. I like people. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, this just isn't Final Fantasy, which I've always been very open-minded about. Final Fantasy can look different, take place in a different world, have a different tone, different character design, different gameplay. Final Fantasy is always different, but I can't imagine. I don't think anyone would be upset. Like, but that said, I do think Final Fantasy VII Remake did have a really good balance.
Yes.
You know, it was a great compromise. Whereas
right. I agree.
16 is definitely much more on the all-out action. I mean, you do have RPG elements in the sense of like you're choosing your sort of your loadout for your swapping icons, and then you're kind of rotating through your abilities through the cooldown process and stuff like that. You know, I think it has more RPG elements than some people act like. I think a big, because what's interesting is I feel like there's been much more backlash to Final Fantasy 16's action combat than there was when Final Fantasy 15 came out.
Yeah,
I think
agree.
Final Fantasy 15's battle system is just uninteresting in every way.
Yeah.
I think it is it's just not fun. It's not difficult. I very rarely died in it, but I also just felt like never really in tune with it. Like it was not engaging, and it didn't feel good to play, in my opinion. Final Fantasy 16 feels great to play, I think. But like I don't remember, like, people, there was backlash about like the end of the story in Final Fantasy 15 being rushed. But I don't remember there really being backlash about the action combat in Final Fantasy 15. I don't know if that stemmed from, well, it was always meant to be an action RPG because of Final Fantasy versus 16, or if people just really liked the combat and I didn't. Final 15 is my least favorite, for the record. I don't know. Like, the thing that I always harp on about Final Fantasy 16 is that the magic is grenades.
Yeah.
You craft grenades, elemental grenades, and they do friendly fire to your friends. And like, I used them like once.
Yes. Same
I was
here.
like, no, I am not. That's garbage. I'm not using grenades if they do friendly fire to, my allies that I can't like directly control. And lo and behold, you were able to get through the whole game easily without using them.
Right.
Like that takes a major part of the, fantasy RPG feel out of it to me, just like magic being done in that way. And so I guess my point is, like, I feel like 16 probably has more RPG elements than 15. And I think the problem is, people are like, oh, well, God of War is more of an RPG than Final Fantasy 16. Well, God of War is just part of a larger trend of, I have not played Ragnarok, but I assume it's very similar to the 2018 or whenever that came out, God of War 2018. I assume it's very similar. Every action game has to have a skill tree. Every action game has to have XP, and equipment and all this stuff. And don't get me wrong, that can be cool sometimes. It actually was implemented quite well into God of War 2018. But like not every action game has to have a skill tree. It just doesn't. And I feel
it's more
like
bold to not have one now.
it is, and it's so refreshing when you see it. It's like, yes, your abilities just are what they are, or you earn them through game progression or discovering the abilities in the world, right?
Right.
Like that. It's refreshing to see that again. I'm so sick of skill trees in every action game. Like it is not necessary. And like I just think it's the RPG creep into every video game that has. I don't think people would have the same criticisms of Final Fantasy 16 if it weren't for that. So the perspective, I mean, that had already been pretty prevalent, I think, by the time Final Fantasy 15 came out, but it's even more the case now where, every action game is an RPG. And I think people would not be thinking so much in those terms with Final Fantasy 16 now. I mean, but again, don't get me wrong. I think the combat is excellent, but I also don't understand why Final Fantasy can't be turn-based. So, I mean, it's okay to feel both ways, right? Like is a very good game with very good, if all too easy combat. I mean, Trials of Mana remake was also extraordinarily easy, but it was a ton of fun to play,
Yeah.
We both loved that. Even on the hardest difficulty, Trials of Mana was so easy.
Yeah, but you know what? Sometimes it's just nice to play an easy game.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's fine to have some balance. I would have probably played Final Fantasy 16 on a higher difficulty mode if I'd had the option, but it's still a very fun game to play. Like, before I answer,
Cool decision.
Mega X6's comment here. There's no just traditional FAQ for this. So there's 12 performance medals. Is that per world or per level? There's a boss guide. Let's see.
Wait. Oh, someone said there were 6 levels already.
Worlds.
Yeah.
What was the last boss you beat was the spider, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like there are 3 more bosses. Although I don't know if that, one could come right after the other for all I know.
I'm trying to find this last one.
Irfan says FF franchise hasn't been mainline turn-based since Final Fantasy X. I mean, Final Fantasy X, even before then, was kind of the exception because technically 4 through 9 were also not turn-based. So they, have an ATB. I tried to use the term menu-based combat versus turn-based. Final Fantasy 13 really plays fairly similarly to, the older ATB games, except your focus is more on managing the strategy and direction of the fight than the moment-to-moment commands. But I do, Final Fantasy 13, despite its naysayers, is probably the most modern thing that is close to a traditional Final Fantasy battle system. But anyway, there was a notification that Mega X6 has been a member for 16 months in a row.
Dang.
Well, thank you. Saying that the directors of FF16 seemed to be inspired by FF5 and FF6. 5 for the character building and 6 kind of in story. Does that come across to you? I mean, I would say 6 is one of the bigger inspirations for Final Fantasy 14. So maybe you're kind of seeing some bleed in there. I don't know if I really see that so much myself in 16, but maybe that's just because the 6 influence is much stronger.
I'm not really noticing any 6. I feel like
it's closer to 4, if any.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That is literally exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, because like when, especially in like, I mean, you're not there yet, but like in Dalmekia, like the desert towns kind of make me think of like some of the towns that you go to early in Final Fantasy.
I mean, the continent seems pretty small. Like the world seems pretty small, but I assume that you go to a different continent later on.
Well, you'll see. But Final Fantasy 5 for character building, I don't really see that either, to be honest, because I mean, Final Fantasy 5 I think is like the gold standard for character building in the series. I mean, that's the reason that games like Bravely Default hew so closely to it. And also games like Final Fantasy Tactics and the Tactics Advance games. But I can't say I really see that because it's not really a job system. I mean, it's kind of its own thing, but like swapping between the icon ability sets, I don't know. It's kind of its own thing. It's but I do enjoy it. I do like kind of customizing my move sets and seeing what kind of flow that I like to have, like moving between abilities and what I like to kind of use first, and standard enemy fights versus boss fights and stuff like that. I don't know. I think it's its own thing. I would argue that I would argue that 16 probably, I would say, skews closest to Final Fantasy 4 in story tone, and maybe a bit of, there's definitely a little bit of 5 inspiration in the story that will become apparent later. I mean, minor, not nothing major. Like, don't be thinking of like the big Final Fantasy 5 plot twists. I'm not talking about big plot twists. I'm just thinking of like elements that they borrowed from the game that are fairly minor overall. Yeah, I think just like in terms of like the world and tone, it's probably closest to 4. Final Fantasy 14 also has a ton of 4 inspiration, especially in the most recent expansion. Like literal, straight up 4. It's got the Tower of Zot and
Wait, which one? What does?
And the Tower of Babel. Final Fantasy 14. Endwalker.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's just like fan service essentially.
It is. I mean, Naoki Yoshida, said that one of his, when he took control of Final Fantasy 14, is he wanted it to feel like a Final Fantasy theme park, right?
Yeah.
And it very, don't get me wrong, it very much is its own thing. It has its own story, its own world, its own lore, but it does borrow a lot of, here and there, borrows a lot of names from previous Final Fantasy games. It's got Magitech armor. It's got a kingdom called Doma. It's got the Tower of Zot, the Tower of Babel, and it's even got some major Final Fantasy bad guys. Final Fantasy 4 bad guys are the sort of the story that's taking place that's currently ongoing between Endwalker and whatever the next expansion will be. Heavily Final Fantasy 4, like just straight up direct references. I've let you listen to some of the music before, But he said Final Fantasy 16 is not that. Final Fantasy 16 is meant to be its own.
Yeah, well, I mean, it should
very
be.
much its own thing. And again, Final Fantasy 14 is its own thing, but it does have a lot of wink nudge. Hey, remember this references.
Yeah.
I mean, the story of Final Fantasy 14 is very good, very much stands on its own. But it definitely has a lot of references.
Stupid frog is stressing me out.
I don't know if he's making a mistake or if he's making a joke, but it's great either way. Chris Waters says, I also didn't like the name of the main characters in Final Fantasy V. Farts.
Farts. No, I mean,
it's butts.
Yeah,
butts
it's gotta be
name.
Butts.
Butts is how he was originally kind of translated.
Yeah.
And then later they changed it to Barts.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I love the idea. I'd never considered the idea of farts.
Oh no. Right on the swords. Yeah, seriously, like I'm definitely a butts man. I mean,
this conversation came up recently.
Yeah. It's gotta be butts. Like I'm sorry, like it's like I cannot take the name Bart's seriously.
I like the name Bart's. That's an acceptable name.
I get, and it's an acceptable name in a world where butts doesn't exist. You know, like what? Once you once you've experienced the butts, you can't go back. There's no, you can't put that genie back in the bottle. I'm sorry.
I mean, you know, I've played through Final Fantasy V twice in my life, and both times I named the main character Bart's. I've not gone butts.
I feel like you're missing out.
Well, you know, I Final Fantasy V is a game that I would like to play again at some point in my life. So, you know, there's always time.
Oh my gosh, this is like so stressful. This freaking, it's like on this stupid swing. Come on. Oof. All right. Ooh. Okay, that's acceptable. Oh,
you sound like a monkey there. You're going. This does look pretty intense.
It is. Does Final Fantasy V have a poner? Only if you name your character Butts.
I honestly don't know if you can.
Only by getting the true ending can you unlock the true ending by naming your character Butts, because that's what his name is. Any other ending where his name is Bart is not like a real ending.
Kurt X, there are physical. Okay. I assume they might still be readily available.
Spinning swords here.
If you look for an English Asia version of Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster, those are out there. You can
sweaty
get
hands
that for a physical of that.
What?
Kurt X was just saying I would love to replay it if only Square released enough physical copies of Pixel Remaster. But there's the English Asia version.
Oh yeah.
I assume it.
I wish I'd gotten the PS4 version as well.
I doubt they're any different.
You know, when we were talking about like the carbon stuff the other day, like I think that, and this is not just because like I had a chance to be involved in a small way, but like that, like what Digital Eclipse is doing with like the Karateka Gold Master series, is just, I think, is so cool.
It looks incredible. It absolutely looks incredible.
It's just like such a cool realization of like what they like have wanted to do, or what they.
I mean,
like,
Karateka does not look like a game I would enjoy playing very much, but I'm so interested in that package.
Yeah. Pretty much. I just like as a full disclosure, like so if anyone's checked the Digital Eclipse YouTube, there's like a it's just kind of like a bonus video where it like kind of explains like what the Gold Master series is and like what they've done to kind of get to like doing it. And I edited those when I had mentioned a couple weeks ago that I like had a chance to do a freelance gig that it, like I was like kind of turning down some freelance stuff. And but I had a chance to edit something that I just really wanted to do, and it was those videos for Digital Eclipse. Because I mean, I feel like the stuff that Digital Eclipse.
Whoa! Look at that 3D Yatex. That's amazing.
Yeah, I like it. I just feel like what Digital Eclipse is doing is like the kind of stuff that if I was to like be involved in doing like game videos and stuff like in the actual industry, like that's the kind of thing that I would want to do.
Yeah, they've got a very cool. I mean, they've proven it with Atari 50. I mean, it's a very very impressive approach, and I hope it succeeds for them.
Yeah. Me too. Oh, come on.
The thing about Barts and Butts, though,
Got
I mean,
him.
I think we were talking about this just last week, but in the game itself, there is no like preloaded default name. Like you only learn what the official name is through, external materials.
Yes.
Butts Krauser or Bart's Krauser. Is it Krauser? Krauser? Something I think Klauser, or maybe. Well, I think I've seen translations called Klauser and Krauser. I don't know. I guess it could be either. I think it's not be Klauser.
Like his last name means nothing. It doesn't matter. I'm just talking about.
You're just talking about butts.
Yeah. Like, there's just no other. It was butts in the first fan translation, and that's the first time I played Final Fantasy V was in that first fan translation.
Did you beat it like that before
No.
the PS1 version came out?
Nope.
But you beat the PS1 version, I assume that.
I beat it on the Game Boy Advance.
Oh, okay.
Believe it or not.
I do not. Actually, I do.
I do not know. I don't know what that thing is on the bottom there. Like that star with the.
It kind of looks like it hasn't changed.
No. My life in butts.
My butts in gaming.
Yep. Oh my gosh. That last level looked horrific. This looks like it's even worse.
If I ever had to name a dragon in a video game, I'd probably call it a wyvern. And
A wyvern?
a wyvern in
Oh.
in honor of Final Fantasy V's PS1 translation. I don't know. I think that's funny. People seem to be greatly offended by the wyvern. I mean, it's bad, but I'm still amused by it. Wyvern.
Ooh, the music's kind of kicking on this level.
Oh yeah. I mean, I bet this is the last world.
This is the last world, I think.
I bet the last two bosses are like back to back.
They're what? They're back to back?
I mean, I bet they are. I can't tell really because it looked like there were.
I mean, is there two levels of bosses?
Well, there were two. Well, I don't know. I mean, there's two bosses listed beyond the clown. Beyond the clown.
I bet you the people that call the main character of Final Fantasy V Bart are the same people that say Tidus and Cecil.
Oh no!
They're
no,
like on that
I
same
bet the
level to me.
opposite. I bet it's the opposite. The people who call them butts are probably exactly the people that say Cecil and Tidus.
Well, I'm happy to be the
I'm
outlier.
gonna throw people that say Aerith in with their lot too. That's right. That's right.
There's like a bed in it. Like this is like a rotating bed.
Mr. Dew is asking how we pronounced Evilise. I feel like this came up last week, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've always said, I mean, until I heard it like said in voice.
12.
I mean, I always said Ibalis.
See, the thing is, I only rented Final Fantasy Tactics, and didn't get that far back in the day, and I still haven't gotten very far into Vagrant Story. But like the first time I played Vagrant Story, I just like couldn't really get into it, and I didn't get that far into it.
That's a common thing.
Yeah. Like looking back at it now, like the opening scene in that game is like incredible.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'm looking forward to playing through that game. Maybe it should be on my list next year.
If you don't finish your list, do those games that you didn't finish are you gonna carry them over?
I was actually thinking about this just a day or two ago. Not that I am planning for failing to finish my list, but you know,
I was feeling very confident for a long time, but now I'm starting to feel like not confident.
Oh, I am extremely worried. I mean, I'm still going to act like I have a chance. I am not. Like, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything other than like Mario RPG and Super Mario Wonder. Like, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything that's coming between now and the end of the year that like I wouldn't wait on. That I can think of off the top of my head. There might be something else. I don't know. But like I'm planning to like pretty much just work on my list after I finish Final Fantasy 16. I think the next game I play is going to be Nier Automata. And I'm going to focus on my list. But anyway, what I think I'll do if in the remote possibility I don't finish my list, I will carry those games over to 2024, but I still have to pick 10 more games.
Okay, interesting.
So I'll make so if I'm carrying over some RPGs, I will make mine. I will be less ambitious with some of my new picks. Basically, is my intent. I want. There were so many RPGs I wanted to play so badly this year that like I may have overreached a little bit with some longer games. So that's not to say I might not pick some new RPGs for next year if I fail in my list this year, but I will carry the games over, but I still have to pick 10 more games. But I'll probably be a little more realistic with the new picks. I'll definitely pick some shorter stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like I had some ideas, but they escaped me at the moment. Oh, I like that little animated wall with the flowers.
Yeah.
That was cool. Well, you got they're toothbrushes.
They are?
Well, no, you passed some toothbrushes earlier. Like they were just toothbrushes floating in space. Do you think like are they supposed to be like glow sticks?
I think so. Oh, I must have hit my head.
For a second, I thought you meant in real life. I'm like, how? Like, pay attention. Some of the platforms, the diagonal platforms, are definitely toothbrushes. Make you a second backlog within my backlog.
Yeah.
Backlogception.
When is the new backlog are supposed to launch? As far as I know, it was like really close, right?
Yeah, Drum was talking about the other day.
There's like one like last beta update or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's like open beta. There's not a date set.
There's a big light switch.
There's not a date set, but he expects it to be.
I just like
very
fell through the platform. I turned off the light switch and then I fell through. I'm falling apart here.
I think you just drifted to the side.
I don't know how.
Marc says, "Try. You need to play Landstalker already. It's only like 10 hours." Man,
I'm gonna put that on my list for next year. I think.
Is Landstalker still affordable at all, or?
I bet it's not.
I mean, it was pretty affordable. It was more affordable than I would expect it to be for a long time, though.
Yeah,
So
I bet it's not though.
I've always avoided it because I didn't like Alundra very much. But I mean, hearing you say it's only 10 hours, like, definitely kind of makes me more interested, just because, like, well, even if I don't like it more than Alundra, it's suffering for less time. I mean, a big part of Alundra's problem is that it starts out really strong, and then the level design soon becomes obnoxious, and then the game just keeps going and going and going and going and going. If it had the good sense to be a lot shorter, it would not have been so annoying. So, I did get, I mean, partly because it's really cheap, but I got a Super Famicom cart of Lady Stalker, which is like a horrible sounding title, but it's. I mean, you play the Lady Stalker. You are the lady who is the stalker.
Yes.
I mean, stalker is not even really an accurate term for those games. I don't know why they're called that. I mean, Japanese translations and words they think sound cool, but sound awkward in English.
Yeah.
but Lady Stalker seems like it seems more straightforward than the other games from the Stalker team. It something about it just seems more lighthearted and fun to play. I'm always, oh, there's a spoon. Does that spoon like catapult you?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Maybe. It's scaring me though, really. There's a toaster.
Oh, the texture on the handle of that spoon is amazing. Like, that's really good PS1 texture right there.
I'm disappointed in that toast does not shoot me upwards. The texture on that spoon. The thing is, like, when you get to the outer reaches of the level, like, the frame rate, like, shoots way up.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, you feel like you have some sort of power-up really cool. Like, that, like, throws you off.
It's like... It's like the skateboard in Adventure Island. It's like,
You don't know if you want it.
You'll know if you want it, because it's probably just going to make you fall in a pit instead.
Yes. I don't know. These fish are shooting bombs. Like, there's just like so much going on right now. And I'm like, it's got me sweaty right now. I have like the sweaty platforming hands.
It's got me sweaty right now.
Yeah.
That happens.
That's what I call it, sweaty platforming hands.
Sweaty platforming hands.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Oh, of course. I mean, you've got a case of the old SPH.
Dude, why do these things like
maybe you can ask your doctor if he's got any tips for sweaty platforming hands.
The only thing that works is those one of those gloves that comes with
Mario Party?
No, like what was it?
Mario Party.
They had the glove, like Aero Fighters or whatever on the Genesis. And it's like really, it's like super rare.
Aero Fighters on the
I think
Genesis?
it's Aero. Is it like Aero Fighters that came with like a glove? It's just like for one hand.
I don't know. I'm only familiar. I think it's like, is it like Aero Fighters Assault on N64?
That's the one that's real expensive, I think.
I think there's two games in that series. I think it's Aero Fighters and Aero Fighters Assault and Aero Fighters Assault.
Aero Fighters is Dreamcast. What is the one that's like on the... There, I see the mirror ball. Like, I gotta do something with that mirror ball, I assume.
I don't know why it couldn't just be decoration.
I just want this level to be over. I'm wasting all my good guns here on...
I like kind of the delayed...
Is it Aero Blasters? It might be Aero Blasters.
Turn of the laser beam or whatever that is. So you're trying to find one more Moo Moo and then get to the exit.
Yes.
Do you have to do you sometimes have to do something to make them appear, or are they just
No, not really. It's just that sometimes it's just really hard to tell like where they are. And your map kind of lets you know. But I don't know. Like, I don't think I'm doing it right. Oh, there it is.
that Moo Moo?
All right.
Do enemies respawn?
I think so, yeah. All right.
Get your rabbit Mondu butt out of there. Oh wow, look at the texture on that knife.
All right, well, how do I get out of here now? Stay away from me.
Man, that's
Stay away.
There's just some quality video game cutlery, I gotta say.
Yes.
Just look.
I have plenty of time. I just need to...
Yep, plenty of time. No
Just need to breathe.
need to rush. You just collected more time.
What?
You just collected more time.
Okay, there's the exit. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna go for it.
I wonder if the next level also has fine silver.
I don't know. Whew. Dang.
Oh man, you're on track to finish this.
Yeah. Airbuster. That's it. I knew it was air something. Or arrow. Airbuster.
What?
That's the one that comes with a glove. Look it up. It's like pink. It's really rare. Joe, I think you have one, don't you? I mean, of course you do, I think.
Here's the first link for it was an eBay listing. It's $500.
It's just like it's just like one glove.
I didn't think it was going to get you that good.
It's like like that is like it's so sad, isn't it?
And that is literally just the first thing that came up on Google.
Jeez.
It says item description from seller: Sega Genesis Kaneko Airbuster promo glove. This listing is for the video game player's glove that was advertised and promoted in 1991 by Kaneko in magazine ads and on the game box. The listing is for the glove only. There is no game or box or paperwork or packaging included. I'm going to search for Airbuster glove and then look at sold listings. Let's see. Sold items. The most recent one sold in May for $100.
Okay, well that's better than $500.
And I can't find it. Scrolling down, another listing is not coming up. I mean, there's similar things, but not that item. So they must not come up very often.
Well, definitely not.
Isn't I mean you're so is the monster you're fighting called an Airbuster? Is that why this came up?
No, it came up because we were talking about sweaty platforming hands, and I said, "Oh, I need the glove from Airbuster." Or
isn't Airbuster the name of a Shinra weapon?
Yeah.
Isn't that like the boss at the second reactor? The one that you can like kind of sabotage and remake? Isn't that the Airbuster?
I'm gonna run out of lives.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to do that level again.
Do you know?
Please let me get the
happens?
start there. Please don't send me back to. Please don't let me make that do that last. It's making me do that stupid last level again.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! But it seems like that's the last actual level then. Like the others must just be bosses.
Well, hopefully I can.
Oh man, Madonna Sheehy's got a great idea for a knitting project. Make knit chubbins.
Oh, Chubbins is in the video that'll be out tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Well, it has rotund rebound in there.
I mean, you keep being so down on this video, but it sounds like there's some quality elements in it.
It's like 14 minutes.
That's not a tiny video. That's fine.
I know, but like the thing is like just people like it's just like a subject that nobody is like literally gonna care about.
Well, but people, I think
fine.
you underestimate how much people just like to watch you for you. I mean, seriously.
The Chubbins glove. I'd play. The Chubbins glove is $500 for the Chubbins glove.
I mean, has a physical Chubbins product ever existed? Of any kind? I can't imagine. I don't think there's been a physical copy of any of the games yet.
There has not.
No collector's edition stuffed characters.
Yeah.
And I just really like the texture on
the cutlery in this.
On the cutlery, the silverware. It's just, I don't know. It looks very fancy. It looks like what you pull out on Thanksgiving, It's like
you talking about the knife, but it's like a poop knife.
A poop knife? You think it looks like a poop knife, and I think it looks like
fine.
The Thanksgiving. Do you have like
no?
You do not have. You don't have silverware that that's rarely used except like on Thanksgiving and Christmas.
I mean, my wife has like china.
Yeah, but there's a drawer at my parents' house that the stuff in that drawer is used only as a last resort if there's no more forks or spoons or knives in the regular drawer. And normally the stuff from that drawer is pretty much only taken out at Thanksgiving.
Oh. I mean, I'm familiar with that kind of thing.
Neumann says, "Oh no, more people know what a poop knife is." The poop knife is a joke that originates from some what was it, a Reddit post that you described?
Yeah. I mean, that's
many years ago.
Yes.
Where the funny part about it was the title of the story, and I guess we don't really know whether this was a true story or a work of fiction, but the author claimed, according to the title, something to the effect of, "I was 20 years old before I learned that not every family has a poop knife."
Right.
And you were reading this story while you, Duke, and I were at a Denny's.
Yeah, Denny's.
In Indianapolis, and I had a belly full of pot roast melt, and I'm like, I am trying so hard to not just die laughing in a public space, and so I'm just like stifling my laughter, like clenching my gut muscles, and my belly is just wriggling and jiggling as I'm trying to not burst out laughing at this story while my stomach is full of Denny's pot roast melt. And it was an uncomfortable experience, but also extremely funny.
Where's the stupid...
Mr. New says, wait, scraping the poop? I just use old TG16 cards.
Oh. Oh. There it is. It would have been really nice to beat this without having to continue, though.
Yeah. Sadly, not quite what happened. But it looks like you understand this level now.
You can change the AI voice.
Well, you're not going fancy going back to the title screen, I'd say.
Yeah.
My life and Try's belly full of Denny's pot roast melt.
Ugh.
I like the Denny's pot roast melt, though. It's pretty good.
What? Oh, we got some butt rock going on here.
Oh. Does it like kick in after he like starts pulling off some intense moves?
No. I think it's just part of the track. Ugh. Help! I wish you could strafe in this.
Well, that would have been a little advanced at this time, I think. But it would make sense in a modern jumping flash. I mean, I'd love to see.
Well,
I mean,
oh, strafing, yes, that'd be nice.
There was that that sort of inspired by game that.
Yeah, Pulpo.
A little bit of it, right? You
Forza
gave some feedback.
Pulpo.
What was it called?
Forza Pulpo.
Oh yeah, it was something like that. Sounds about right. Oh man, it's gonna be close. Man. You got this. You got this. What's the villain's name? It's like Dr. Aloha or something like that.
Something like that. I don't remember. Let's gotta look at I gotta use the map too much, or I can't. The thing is, like, you can't aim at him when he's like hits you with his hands. Oh, now he's loose. He's got his lightsabers. He's swinging his lightsabers around again.
Think of Beautiful Joe. Just go for it.
Yeah. Stay away from me. Can you see if there's like any like easy things for the next boss?
There is a boss guide. In fact, that's what I've got open.
I mean, I think I know how to beat this guy. It's just
What were you?
I'm just curious, like, if the next guy is going to be real hard.
Ooh. Well, this guy, it says, this thing is so unfair. It actually is stronger than Captain Kabuki himself.
I beat it. And I got an extra life.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Because it says, good job, you made it to the final battle. This guy is a pain on two conditions. One, a lot of HP, and two, you carry over the damage from the Big Moo fight. He has 3 forms to beat.
This next boss does?
Yes.
Oh, God. Here we go. He's shooting hearts at me, like straight out of the bat. It's like a...
Oh, is this the big banana guy? Maybe it's not.
No.
Baron Aloha or whatever his name is.
I mean, this guy has 3 forms. Is it all the same? I wonder if it's all the same.
Same life bar.
Yeah. Because it's not going down particularly.
Oh, it says. Yeah, it says when you take away half of his health, you'll fight the Kabuki Crawler.
Okay.
Then down to a quarter of the health, the Kabuki Head.
Okay.
So it's the same life bar. That's a relief.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, is there like other moves other than just like circling around the edge and...
I don't know. I mean, maybe if you're not greedy with how many hits you get in, maybe it's not too bad.
I'm not trying for real here.
May as well experiment on this first run.
Oh, he's shooting a missile hand. Or... I just want to see what his second form's like. Because I almost got him down to half.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be a big issue if it wasn't for the time limit.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's not very generous, is it?
No. I don't know. He's more than halfway down right now, and I haven't seen him change forms yet.
Well, maybe the last forms don't last that long.
Maybe.
Sounds like the second form only has 2 attacks and the last form only has 1 attack.
Okay. I suppose that's good. Oh, he's changed. It's become this thing.
For the final form, it says that it leaps into the air and tries to slam into you. It says note that you can't jump on it or you'll get hurt.
Okay. Well,
at least
he was
that's the last
close.
one. I don't know about this one. Okay, you did quite good. I think you got this. I know you got this.
I just gotta. I mean, this. I feel like this game is it's a good difficulty, like it's enough to get me. Get my hands sweaty.
Yeah, get the sweaty controller palm.
Yeah.
but like not so difficult that like it's just
That it's annoying.
continues to be frustrating.
Exactly.
Weirdly, this fact notes that if you have the first game, fight this boss like you did a bear in Aloha. Both battles are almost alike. Do you remember anything?
No.
I don't either from when you played it.
I remember nothing about Baron Aloha. That's a good name, though.
Baron Aloha is a great name. Captain Kabuki is, not a bad name, but it's no Baron Aloha.
Right.
I mean, just no contest.
I know, it's saying move it. It's like, yes, I know. I'm trying.
Yeah, it's way less than half health when the tank appears. And remember, when the head appears, don't try to jump on it. And it only has 1 attack. It just tries to swing.
I mean...
You got it. You got it.
I just need to untense my body and just breathe. Right? It's like storming outside too.
Oh, yeah. It's appropriate for a final boss.
Yeah.
Don't be careless. Don't be reckless.
mean, it sounds like he's hurting me, but I'm not sure if he is. Because I'm like going, ow, ow.
Your health is doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Just don't panic.
I'm in good shape right now.
Don't risk it. Don't take any undue risks.
This is like so intense. And I know I can't jump on him. I'm trying not to, but I can't see him.
It slams into you. So maybe you just want to stay on the ground?
I don't know. He's too fast.
Oh, I see. He spins around.
This is like the most intense final boss I've like ever fought right now. I don't know why. There's just something about it right now that is like, my hands are like clawing up. I cannot almost. I'm gripping my controller so hard. Is like the silliest thing. I feel like I'm not going to be able to open my hands. How many times? Come on!
Oh no! Oh.
I can't.
It says here in this guide, it says it will leap into the air and try to slam you. Note you can't jump on it or you'll get hurt. Stand back and fire away on this thing. It will meet its maker quickly.
Whew. It would have been great. Like, that would have been incredible if I had beat it, though. With like 1 second left, a sliver of life.
Oh, I wasn't even watching the timer.
Yeah, well, that's why I lost.
Oh, that's why you died. Oh.
Oh. My hands are like this. It's just like too tense. I'll finish it tomorrow. I'm not gonna do it now. I can't. I don't have it in me. In my hands. I will save my game though.
Look at the weird shape of those PlayStation controllers on the demo screen. Like there's no start select, very strange shape.
Whew.
That was fun to watch anyway.
Yeah. Man. I would have been able to do it if I had maybe 10 more seconds left, I bet.
Oh.
God. Dang it. I'm thinking about if I want to try it again. Keep on hearing weird noises. It sounds like...
I keep seeing hearts popping up on the chat window.
Yeah, I don't know how people are able to do that.
Is that what the sound is that you were hearing?
No, it sounded like something fell over.
Now there's 100s popping up. I don't know what it is.
I wonder if people can, like with the smiley face or a little plus, engage with your audience or add a reaction. Okay.
Are you doing that?
I can do that.
Oh. They're so fleeting, though. You almost like can barely even catch what they are before they go away.
Hang on. So there's like definitely something going on in here. Hang on. I don't know if it's my cat.
Hopefully it's not Captain Kabuki. Escaped the game.
Hey, Don? Don? Hey, Don? Don?
Hope nothing's wrong.
Yeah. I have no idea. I don't know what I'm hearing. I wonder if it's just whatever is in the furnace is melting. All right.
What was it?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Does it have something to do with that little basement window that you open and close?
No, I don't know exactly what it is. I do know that we've been having issues with our AC, and I think it's been like getting too cold and freezing up. So I turned it off to like let like whatever ice was like built up in there.
Oh,
because it gets so cold.
mm-hmm.
And I've had it turned off for like since right before the stream, and I wonder if that is the noise is like. No, I'm still on the stream here. I'm wrapping it up though. Unless it's like the. I know, but this is like a different sound. This is like something falling over, or unless it's like whatever ice is built up inside of the AC or furnace unit. So that's the thing. If it freezes up, you're either low on coolant or you have a leak. But we just had somebody here last week, and they said they couldn't find any leaks, and they like refilled the coolant. So, and because it wasn't working, it wasn't like cooling anything down. But we're gonna have to have them come back again, obviously. But I think that's what's happening. Is like maybe what's happening is that it's low on coolant for whatever reason again, and it like froze up, and now it's like thawing out.
Well, hopefully you don't get serious air conditioner problems, because I mean around here it has felt super unpleasant.
Oh, yeah, I mean it has been here too. But the whole thing is that we just got this AC put in a year ago, so like when they were here the other day, it doesn't cost anything.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll figure it out. I just heard like some noise, and I was like, maybe there's like something in here. Would it be really funny if there was like
Captain Kabuki
was in the house?
To get you.
Maybe. I thought I heard the dog down here though. Well, I think that's gonna do it. I'm sorry I wasn't able to get that last little sliver of life, but that was a good fight.
Yeah, and you can record some footage for it tomorrow too.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Maybe next week I'll play a game on the stream on the 20L5, because I'm going to Steve's Saturday.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So
maybe I can. I haven't played anything on that since Ratchet Deadlocked, because that was when I stopped using it. Remember?
Yeah. That was a long time ago. I don't even know how long ago that was.
That was I want to say it was 2020.
Jeez.
I think so. Yeah, 20, or it could have been 2021, but I think it was 2020. Yeah. And then I dropped it off at Steve's last year, so finally gonna get it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you to everybody who donated, and hope everyone has a great week. Look for the video at some point tomorrow. Don't be excited about it. It's just,
you should be very excited about the post credits.
yeah. It's just silly.
Well,
just silly.
Just silly is sometimes what you need.
I mean, I wonder if I could make it so that.
Don't spoil it.
Huh?
Don't spoil
it. I could maybe I can use the image, and I can use this. You want me to do it? Make it full screen? It might be really funny.
I mean, of course it's really funny. I feel like.
Does everybody want to see the funny face?
I feel like it could be part of a new intro video.
I don't think so.
I think so.
What?
It's pretty great.
Here it comes.
Oh man, I'm excited.
It's so huge.
You can't even see it. You can't even see the whole thing.
I know, it's so big. There it is.
What is that, Sandy? What is that? Look at that goober. Yeah. Who is that? Yeah. I know. Yeah, I know. That purge ceiling. That's pretty silly.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Yeah, that's just what's going to be there instead of like seeing me now. It's just going to have that.
Yeah.
It can never be live again. It's always going to be this.
I mean, the funniest thing about it too, though, is like the posture of your hands and the angle of your head and the way the hands are raised is like that of a man who has experience and practice, like raising his sunglasses and looking to the side in a really cool way.
Like, there's definitely some funny. I make another stupid face like in the actual episode doing that, but it was just like too far apart that I couldn't like do them both. But all right, I just want I guess ruin that surprise. That's all right. It is what it is. But don't get excited about it. It's just it's just a stopgap so I can immediately start working on another thing.
Yes, and then as soon as I can start working in earnest on that Super Nintendo mod video, that will also be in the works.
Heck yeah. All right, everybody. Hope you have a great week, and I'll see you soon. We'll see you soon. Take care.
Yeah.
Later.